is the Ridiculously Amazing Insurance Agent podcast hosted by me, Kelly Donahue-Piro. This show is for growing agencies looking to maximize their biggest investment, their people. We mash up our 3-minute videos from the previous week, all with tips on how to be ridiculously amazing at insurance sales, retention, processes, marketing, running in an agency, and time management. If you want them daily, like us on social media as they're posted. But let's get started. Hey everyone, Kelly Donahue-Piro here. Excited to do our mashup this week of the top things that tick off your manager. And if you listened to last week's of the top things that tick off your staff, you have to listen this week. You can't do one without the other. But we dive deep into some things that you might not be thinking that you're doing, but really do impact your manager and how they feel about the situation, how they feel about your performance. And so what we know in advance, we can prepare for in advance. So we're gonna go over the word busy, how people bring problems and don't want to hear about solutions, being closed-minded, and what we call the post-meeting meeting. So stay tuned as we break down these 4 things that might be ticking off your manager. All right, number 1, the word busy. Many of you know my least favorite word in the English dictionary to me is the 4-letter B word. And I think that we use it too often, and then what happens, we end up crying wolf. And that's why we get stuck in this whole, the world's falling apart, everything's happening to me mode. What I really encourage everybody to do is stop and take a moment and identify, how do we handle it when we're overwhelmed? And that's what we're going to break down in this video for you. All right, so last week we did all the things that can tick off your team, but this week we're going to do all the things that can tick off your manager, owner, leader, however your agency is structured. And today we're going to talk in detail about something that I think is really important, which is the word busy. I'm pretty outspoken about my disdain and hate for this word. Busy is a 4-letter word that is literally, to me, a grievance on the day. It is not a plan. It is not productive. It is not helpful. And it makes it seem like our customers are just a huge inconvenience to it, which I don't think is a good look at all. But when you go around and you talk about how busy it is in the agency, and I often say this, when I go into an insurance agency, most likely within 10 to 15 minutes of a new agency, I'll hear how busy it is. And that means that that's the way we live. If I call my retired mother right now, she's going to tell me how busy she is. And busy is super relative. But it's also a little bit about the boy who cries wolf, right? Busy, busy, busy. Well, today I'm busy. You know, if I say it every single day, you become immune to it because it's no different. This is just how we're living. So remember, busy is very, very relative. And what you need to do instead, if you really need help, because there's a difference between it's busy and productive, which makes the day go by fast. Imagine being a grocery checkout store person saying, oh, it's so busy today. Well, that's why we're here. We're selling groceries. It's a good thing. Our customers need us. They're calling into the insurance agency. That's a good thing. We need to remember that. So if it's a day where you're getting your butt kicked, and that happens too, but when every day is busy, those upticks are a problem. So one of the things I want to say is we need to be descriptive. What is going on so you can get help to prioritize? This could be as simple as getting off the phones for an hour or saying this, and this are the most important. Hold on that. We'll get to that later, and going at it from that angle. I want to be very clear. Asking for help is a sign of courage. It is not a sign of weakness, but we need to make sure we're asking for help in efficient and effective ways too. We should not just be saying, I need help, I need help. Or we shouldn't be burying it so that we get so far behind that we have the ugly cry, which I was an ugly crier. Just remember, when you're walking around busy, 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 if you walk in the door, oh, it's going to be a busy day. How are you setting the tone for the day? It doesn't work. And I really want everybody to kind of take an inventory on the word busy and say, is it really the best description? Because I would much rather have a day where things go by fast and I'm active and I've got a lot going on, than a day where I'm waiting for the phone to ring, wondering if I still have a job. That's the difference between busy and making it a plan and having a productive day, not just a busy day. Problems, not solutions, our next topic. This is so I'm just going to say relevant in insurance agencies. There's a problem, but we don't want to rock the boat. We don't want to have issues with it. And so what ends up happening is we vent, but once you vent to a manager, you have to be willing to listen to solutions. It's got to be serious enough to talk about it, then we have to be serious enough to understand what solutions we have. And that's why we're going to cover that in the next video of how it ticks off your manager
when you talk about a problem and they bring solutions and it's not something you want to participate in.
So our next thing that can tick your manager, leader, team leader, owner, whatever the appropriate term in your agency is this idea that there are problems and not solutions. So I have worked with many agencies where all we do is talk about the problem and then the agency owner comes up with a solution, but that's not the solution we would want. I equate this to many of my friends who don't let their husbands take over some household chores because it's not done the way we want. He doesn't load the dishwasher the way I want. Well, great news. Then you can't complain about it. The idea is every solution deserves a chance to solve the problem. Now, solutions often have to be iterated on, changed, and updated, and that's okay. But here's the thing, you can't just vent and stop your feet without going to the place of trying to solve it. So here's a common scenario that happens in agencies. Something happens between two team members. One team member goes to the leader, explains what happened, but then says, but I don't want you to address it. What is the point? You want it to be known, but I can't address it with the person. We all have to be adults in these situations. You know, when suggested solutions aren't well received, like I'm going to go have a meeting, let's pull everybody together. In my mind, that means that maybe you have a little piece of the puzzle. Doesn't always mean that you're an innocent actor in the situation. There's also the idea that there's something that happened today and we just maybe need to build a bridge and get over it, and long-term effects. But I want to be very clear that if something's going on, you should tell your manager, but you should also be open to any solutions that are available. If it's gotten to the point where you feel it needs to be logged into management, you have to be ready for all solutions. And this also means that, we need to kind of think about solutions all over the board. Maybe solutions is getting a virtual assistant. Maybe solutions are changing up processes and procedures. Maybe solutions are going to by appointment only. Maybe solutions are moving desks. Don't shortchange the solutions until you try them. That's called judgment, and judgment never gets us that far. So that's tip 2 on what ticks off your manager. Join us for the next tip in our next 3-minute video.
Hey everyone, it's Kelly Donahue-Piro here, and just want to take a quick break after our 3-minute video to let you know, if you're a team member and you're watching these videos, we applaud you. But did you also know that on our website, we have access to over 700 blogs? That's content, that is tips, tricks, things to make your jobs easier. All you have to go is go to our website, find the blog link, and then there's a search bar. So whether it's how to deal with an upset customer, how to cross-sell, how to better manage your time, you will find tons and tons of resources there. So I encourage you, if not applaud you, for heading over there and becoming the best you possible. I've said it many times, one of my core values and principles in life is to try to hit my potential. And what I want to do is help all of you out there do the same. The blogs are a free resource for you to start using. Pass them around to other team members, in fact. But take a moment and go ahead and look for those blogs. Also, did you know we have a ridiculously amazing insurance agent podcast? Maybe you want to listen to these videos on your way into work. And by the way, there's no sponsors on the podcast, so you're not going to get hit up with ads. We do it all ourselves because we want to help empower team members as much as possible. We know that every agency is different, but as much as we can give back to the insurance community, we want to. So do 2 favors for me. Go to our website and check out the blogs and find a topic that you're interested in and read away. Then go to Apple Podcasts or wherever you get your podcasts and subscribe to the Ridiculously Amazing Insurance Podcast. It's just going to help you be the best insurance agent you can be. Thanks so much for watching our videos. We'll see you soon. Next up is closed mind. So my biggest fear, as we talk about in this video, is insurance agents become blockbuster because we are not open-minded enough and don't get buy-in from everybody on how to be more relevant, whether it's texting or virtual assistants or, changing processes and procedures. We need to be on top of these things. And the reason we need to be on top of these things is very, very, very simple, is that we cannot be so closed-minded that we stay the same way we're doing business 20 years ago. 20 years ago, I was a bank teller and there was no ATM cards or debit cards. 20 years ago, I was in a DOS system. We have to keep an open mind to changes that are going to benefit ourselves and our customers. And that's what we cover in this video. So this next video kind of goes hand in hand with last one, which is solutions, not problems, but it's a little different in my mind because it's called having a closed mind. So a closed mind means that as new initiatives, things coming up happen, that's silly, that's stupid, that's not going to work. So this could be something like getting a mobile phone app for the agency, or getting in group pictures, or, using virtual assistants. When we start judging things, we have a big problem because, months, if not, weeks went into researching potential solutions. These are things working in other agencies. Our closed-mindedness needs to go. I'm very vocal about the number one thing I think that could impact insurance agents is actually becoming blockbuster. And if we don't stay relevant, that is a significant thing that could happen in this industry. Now, you might be saying, oh, I'll be retired by then. But aren't we all here for the greater good? So when new things come down the pike, new initiatives, a new leader, a new carrier, a new management system, a virtual assistant, marketing technology, think to yourself, is your mind doing this and you're judging it and you're reacting to a change? Or are you starting to think about this has some things? We do have this problem. I want to learn more about the solution. It is your call how you handle it. And that's why in this 3-minute video, I want to say closed mind really ticks off management because it's unbelievable how much process and progress gets slowed down because of it. So the post-meeting meeting inevitably happens where everybody in a meeting says, yes, yes, yes. And then the meeting happens, we go on Teams or we go on any of the chat situations, or we're texting, or we're driving home. Do you believe that? That is so unhealthy. And it ticks not only a manager off, but me off too, quite frankly. And the reason it ticks us all off is because it's totally unproductive. And then we're screaming we don't have time, we're too busy, but we're having so much time to go have a water cooler chat or coffee area chat about something we don't like that doesn't actually help provide any solutions. And so as we go into the post-meeting meeting, we want to give you some tips on how to get out of one if you find yourself in a post-meeting meeting. So this next one is one that gets me all the time. It's called what I call the post-meeting meeting. So I come into agencies and oftentimes we're dealing with change. We're telling people they get to make renewal review calls. We're updating a sales process. We're installing our time management strategies. And the goal behind all of that is progress and growth and finding better ways to grow simply. But everyone's nodding their head and smiling in the meeting. We shut the door and literally you can watch people going, what do you think about that? Do you think that's going to work? I don't think that's going to work. Here in, Tulsa, when it is literally our clients on Taco Tuesday and it's a full moon, and when people wear pink, it doesn't work like that. It doesn't work like that. And immediately what we do is we start judging progress. So if you're involved in a post-meeting meeting that you don't mean to be in, because sometimes it just happens around the coffee maker, you can just say, hey, I'm actually going to give it a shot. I think it could work. You have to really identify if you're miserable at work. Some of it could be your coworkers that are just negative, and you have to think, do I want to be a part of that? Don't worry about the opinions of others if you don't participate. Trust me, that can all go away. But decide on your own and be positive. When you choose positivity, it's amazing what can happen. And you can also be the beacon that some other people navigate towards and away from that negativity, but only if you choose it. If you don't choose it, you're always going to be circling that drain of negativity. The post-meeting meeting is going to happen, and then this little union forms against progress and change. And again, the biggest fear I have for independent agents is that we become blockbuster. So let's not let that happen. We're going to do our mashup tomorrow, where we mash all these up with a little bit more commentary. We'll see you then. All right, so I'm so grateful that you were able to stick with us in these past 2 weeks, what ticks off your manager and what ticks off your team. Sometimes it's just communication, and these are little things that we can all do for the greater good and to be more productive in a better work environment. And that's why I did it, is what you know in advance you can prepare for. And I'm all for empathy, right? The more we know, the better off we can be. If I know I'm upsetting somebody, I can change my tone or I can change my approach. But the biggest thing we have to do is have emotional intelligence, where we can stand up for it. We cover all this and more in our agency performance program, a 2-year program, and we're selling out fast. We only work with 20 agencies. We just launched it in January, so we only have a few spots left. Contact us if you're interested in getting your agency whipped into shape. We'll see you in the next 3-minute video.